This is the Reds POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Cincinnati Reds. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, Reds fans, and welcome to another edition of the POSTCAST, brought to you by Locked On Reds and the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I am Tim Daniel. I am a lifelong Cincinnati Reds fan. I've been podcasting about this team for 5 years at publications such as Late Night Reds and the Riverfront. And I want to thank you all for spending some time with me today as we discuss the Cincinnati Reds pulling off a really nice win tonight against the Los Angeles Angels 6-4. If you are just checking me out for the first time tonight, welcome. We are so glad to have you. Please be sure to hit that notification button here on YouTube so you can not only get my show after each and every single Cincinnati Reds game, but you can get Jeff Carr and Stephen Offenbaker Monday through Friday on Locked On Reds as well. Today's epic game was unbelievable. It was one that, man, to see the Reds put a win together like that where they had to kind of fold them off was excellent. And I can't wait to talk about it. Today's episode is also brought to you by our friends over at FanDuel. Football season is right around the corner. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets now. On tonight's, this morning's, late evenings, whatever time we are show, we're going to discuss holding off the comeback for the Reds tonight against the Angels, a new way for the Reds to find a win this year. We're going to discuss Noelvi, Marte, and Miguel Andujar being awesome yet again, and Hunter Greene tonight. Whew, man, was he excellent or what? All that and a whole lot more. And of course, I'm going to hear from you, our everydayers as well. This is a fun one. This was a really fun game. Let's get right to it, shall we?
This is what you'll be talking about.
Man, oh man. That one was scary. That was one of those games where they probably would have lost that game most of the time throughout the season, right? There's been a few of those this year where they've run into that. And tonight, they find a way to really put it together, and they're, up big to start the game. Well, not big. I mean, they're down 1-0. And then they charge back. Noelvi Marte hits the homer in the second. They put 2 runs on the fourth and put another in the fifth. They're up 4-1. And then the Angels come back and they tie the game. It's crazy. You see Joe Adell takes Hunter deep there, which Joe Adell's been really, really good this year, obviously. In the 8th inning, they tie the game up, and you're kind of thinking like, oh man, that's not good. On the road, they get one more at bat. They get the last at bat of the game still. And so you got to find a way to put it together in the 9th. And what do? They put it together in the 9th. That was incredible. I mean, just the fact that the Reds put just like a string of at-bats together, and they got some help. I'm not going to act like it was like completely perfect by all means, but it was enough. So let's kind of run through the 9th inning real quick just so we can kind of paint the picture. So they obviously bring in Kenley Jansen. Noelvi Marte strikes out, and you go, I don't know. Then Jose Trevino gets his first of the game with a single. Brian Hayes gets hit by a pitch. And so they go to Will Benson there, which I really like that move by Tito. That's really solid. And Benson is a great at-bat drawing that walk. There's some close pitches there that he has to take. I was kind of shocked. So that loads the bases when Benson walks. And then Friedel has the sac fly, which was awesome. And then Gavin Lux just rips that double, which I'm here to celebrate wins. I don't like to talk about the bad things, but why is J.R. House sending Will Benson there? I don't know. They could have kept that game going and just left him at third, and maybe he scores on the next at bat. I don't know, but didn't love it. And so they find a way to kind of put that together and just have that 9th inning rally after being rallied against them. Just seeing the response. So we talk a lot, and like when they have these bad losses, I have people who come in here and they say stuff like, well, playoff teams don't lose games like that. And you're right. They've had a lot of those games this year where you're like, question if they're a playoff team because how they played. Playoff teams do win games the way they did this game. Like playoff teams do find a way to string at bats together in the 9th inning and respond to adversity when things are going their way. So that's where I kind of look at it and go, all right, this is where I'm starting to get confidence in this team again. It started with that Brewers win on Sunday. I know they had a bad Brewer series big picture, but something's going on. Something's happening here. They're winning games. They're playing really well of late. The way they won tonight, they're up to the season high games over 500. They're 7 games over now, so that's pretty crazy. And Jason says it here. Let's be honest, the Mets have kept the Reds in the playoff hunt. I think 2 things can be true. You can make that case for sure, but I do think they're playing pretty darn well these last few games as well, especially considering I guess it's the Angels, and they're not the Angels of that won the World Series in the 2002s, but they also, you got to play who's on your schedule. And the Reds are finding ways, man. And I think that's all you can really ask for at this point. Even when Luis May makes it extremely difficult, the Reds are finding ways. Daniel says it here. Luis May is now moved to 2-0. Man, by the way, I like the pizza picture. I just saw the Ninja Turtles re-release on Sunday after the game because they put the 1990 movie in film. And so that kind of reminded me of that. So I'm all for that as well. But big picture, I'm really happy with how they put this game together. And it could have gone really bad. And shout out Tony Santillan. Emilio Pagan not being used in that situation, I'm completely okay with that. And I think Santillan really kind of had the adrenaline going there. And it was pretty cool to see because he did everything he had to. So he was absolutely great there. I think he likes getting the ball in the ninth inning. I'm not trying to speculate, not trying to say anything about this because we all know how I feel about it. But I think he really enjoyed having the ball in that spot. I think I'll just say that real quick. But you know who else really enjoyed playing at Angel Stadium tonight? Miguel Andujar and Noelvi Marte. And did they come through big? Let's talk about them and more right after this. August 26th is officially FanDuel Futures Day, a brand new holiday for football fans who look for bold predictions and preseason hunches. For just 24 hours, FanDuel is giving you deals on NFL season predictions. So whether you're calling your MVP, eyeing a long shot division winner, or ready to crown your Super Bowl champ before week 1 even kicks off, this is your moment. So take a flyer like I am on the MVP race. I'm taking my guy, Joe Burrow for MVP. Crown your champions in August. I love my Cincinnati Bengals. I feel like this defense thing's going to figure itself out at some point. Hopefully just not too late. Or parlay your division winner dark horses. I love the Bengals, the Buccaneers, and the Cowboys, all as division winners. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your future bets now because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. The episode is also brought to you by Prize Picks, the daily fantasy platform that lets you turn your football predictions into real rewards. Preseason is already heating up, and college football isn't far behind. Whether you got your eye on big-name quarterbacks or breakout running backs, Prize Picks makes it easy to get on the game. I'm very excited for this upcoming season. We already talked about Joe Burrow, but I'm feeling on the college side of things, Jeremiah Love over touchdowns. Notre Dame's going to have a big year, a freshman quarterback, and Jeremiah Love's going to take the leads. Prize Picks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get your picks right, you could cash in and win up to 2,000 times your money. I've used Prize Picks for a few seasons now, and I love how simple it is. I can get a lineup in before I brew my coffee every morning. The flex play option, is a total game changer. Even when one of your picks misses, you can still double my money. Prize Picks puts their members list first, so all withdrawals are safe and secure. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after your first $5 play. Prize Picks, run your game. Want to shout out my everydayers here on the postcast, staying up late with me tonight on the East Coast as we discuss a huge Cincinnati Reds win tonight over the Los Angeles Angels, a series clinching win. Mind you, I will say there as well. If you're just checking me out for the first time, please be sure to hit the notification button so you can not only get my show after each and every single Reds game, but you can get Jeff and Steve Monday through Friday as well on Locked On Reds. After you're done listening to us, please be sure to go over to Locked On MLB. They watch every single game, so you don't have to. Guys, this is a fun one. And Booster, come on now. We already know what Jeremiah Smith's going to do. Jeremiah Love. Huh? Thinking about it. Let's talk about the turning point of the game tonight, shall we?
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
Carter says here, barely keeping my eyes open. I feel ya there, my friend. I feel ya. But turning point tonight, I'm going to go with the ninth inning. I'm going to go with TJ Friedel's sac fly leading to Gavin Lux's huge hit as well, putting the Reds up 2 runs after the Angels' huge comeback. Man, just a really, really fun baseball game tonight. So absolutely, we will enjoy moments like this. Noelvi Marte, I'm sure you guys have seen, is on what the kids would call a tear now on a 10-game hit streak. Had the huge home run tonight in the second inning to tie the game up and kind of get the Reds get their bearings back. That was something that was really awesome. And with him right now, he just kind of has that natural swing. He just kind of, everything kind of seems like it's coming pretty well for him. And I know right field is a gamble. I know right field can have its moments. But what I'm seeing from him right now, I'm very pleased with. Obviously, been hitting the ball extremely well. But Miguel Andujar is a godsend a fair thing to say? I don't know. Is that over the top? But he's been great. And tonight played first base for what they said, the 4th start of his career. Didn't look bad. Had a nice play there. He had to field the ball and get to Hunter. That was great. And then 3 hits tonight as well. 2 RBI. I know when he was playing with the A's, someone in here said that I can't remember. If you were in the chat, please be sure to pop back in. That when he played with the A's, he always played against the Angels really, really well. So maybe just kind of was channeling back to that. But obviously protecting Ellie in the lineup. He's been great in that spot. He's been outstanding for this Reds team, and he's a guy that I'm willing to discuss being back on this team next year. If the situation is right, if he wants to come back, it's hard to argue against it right now. But what he's brought this team since coming over from the trade deadline has been sorely needed, and you're starting to see because of how well they're playing of late. And Carter kind of says it here too. Again, Carter's like the locked on every day or of the day, I guess. He's bringing really good points, but Ellie's kind of starting to find his swing again too. Scored from first today twice. So that was huge. No, not both times. Do I have that wrong? I have that wrong. It's late. Cut me some slack here. But 2 runs tonight for Ellie, another hit and a walk. We know what happens when Ellie starts drawing walks. Middle of the lineup coming through big tonight. And I know Austin Hayes didn't have his best day, but still huge win, founding away, bouncing back, fighting against, Luis May, trying to make it even harder than it has to be. So it was a huge one all around, and those 2 guys contributed pretty well. And I think Miguel Andujar would have a case most nights to be locked on player of the game, but I feel like Ace Greene has to get it tonight, right?
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
I feel like Hunter Greene tonight deserves this, even if he did leave after the Adele homer in the 7th. Even if it wasn't perfect, he was great. 6 1/3 tonight, 12 strikeouts, 3 earned runs, 6 hits, no walks. Isn't it just so great to see him back on the mound? I know the Reds have really kept afloat because they're starting pitching, but having your ace back to go out there and have games like this where he was dominant. I mean, he was flat dominant. Mike Trout did get the best of him on a couple at bats, but the way that he popped up and just kind of took care of business is huge. And having him back to kind of go out there every 5th day and give you performances like this, if I have that correctly, his next start will be back when they come back to LA against the Dodgers. Do I have that right? Yeah, because the off day on Thursday. So he gets to go pitch in LA again, a place he really likes to pitch. This is going to be humongous for them. Joey Gadisa says it here. Hunter just commands the mound. So dominant. Yeah, I think that's 100% facts. Okay, it was Bill Wright. So William Wright. Thank you for coming back and make sure you say that. Yeah, and Booster says here, kept keeping Trout in the ballpark. You call that a win? Yeah, because I think John did a great job talking about what Mike Trout's kind of become on the episode on the game today, just kind of being that 3-option result player. Is kind of what he's giving to. So, and then Mike says it here. No one wants to see the Reds pitching in the playoffs. No fighting from me on that one. That was one of those games where you can kind of see them coming through. So actually a huge night for Hunter Greene, a huge night for the Reds, and a chance to sweep tomorrow on the West Coast. We don't talk a lot about the Reds getting West Coast sweeps. It's pretty few and far between in my lifetime. I don't know about you guys, but tonight they do get a win 6-4 over the Angels. Luis May is your winning pitcher. He is now 2-0 with a 3.43 ERA. And Kenley Jansen is now 5-3, taking the loss with a 3 ERA. Tony Santillan gets his 4th save. The Reds have 6 runs on 11 hits and no errors. And the Angels have 4 runs on 9 hits and an error. By the way, if anyone was keeping tabs at home, first time since the trade that I didn't have something to talk about with keeper Ryan Hayes tonight. Did have a nice hit and did get hit by a pitch in the 9th inning. So, had his moments, but didn't have a segment on keeper Ryan Hayes tonight. Is that a first? I think it's a first since the trade. That's just where things were on tonight being a pretty good day. But the Reds are back at it tomorrow, and the chance to sweep at the same time as Nick Martinez takes the hill. He is 10-9 with a 4.73 ERA. He'll be going against Yusei Kikuchi at the Angels, who is 6-8 with a 3.52. First pitch is again at 9:38. What a weird time. Just a weird time. Chris asked thoughts on May pitching the 8th. I feel like I would have pulled him as soon as he gave up the homer, but that's me. But yes, we'll be back here tomorrow, regular time after the game. I'm Tim Daniel. Thank you all so much again for staying up with me tonight. These West Coast games, we got another week of them, so let's have some fun with them. I can't wait to talk with you guys. Take it easy. Enjoy the rest of your evening, morning, whatever it is, and I will see you all after the game tomorrow.